Today, we're making Lángos, which is a fried dough that originated in Hungary. So I was at the Lángos Queen the other day, which is, in my opinion, the best Lángos vendor in Vienna, and I had ordered my usual, which is just a plain Lángos with some garlic on it. But as I was standing there, I saw her pull out what I thought was caramelized onions at first, but I'm pretty sure it was stewed apples. And that got me to thinking, what other toppings could I put on a Lángos? So I come up with these, which I didn't actually come up with this one, but this is the traditional one that you will get, which is sour cream and cheese. This is my Austrian inspired one, which is inspired by the Forgo salad. Then I've got a smoked salmon one, which I was thinking of a bagel when I thought of this. And then this is the one that started it all, the caramelized onion with goat cheese and walnut. If you want to see how I made all these, keep on watching. To start off, this is a very basic dough to put together. It's just some water, some flour, some sugar and salt, and some fresh yeast. Now the ingredients list for the dough is going to be in the description box down below. Bung it on the stand mixer, close it up, and start mixing it. Alright, once you've formed a nice cohesive dough here, you want to scrape it down off your hook, like this. You want to scrape it all off the sides so it's one nice little round bowl in the bottom. And you want to cover it with a dinner plate and let it rest. After you let your dough rest, we're going to weigh it. So we're just going to get a little bench scraper, scrape it down off the sides. Now with a wet hand so it doesn't stick to your hand so bad, we'll just scoop it out, plop it on a scale, and now we're going to divide that into 6 equal parts. What's 864 divided by 6? So if you're curious, one turned out to be 144 grams each. So now I'm going to swap out the wet hand for some floured hands because the dough's a bit sticky. So we're just going to go ahead and portion it up. After you get your dough portioned out, you want to roll them into a nice little circle because in the end we're going to form these into a disc shape, and it's much easier to form that disc shape if they're already in a circle. So we're just going to go ahead and roll them into a bowl. Then we're going to set them in a tray lined with a bit of baking paper just to help with the sticking. Now go ahead and roll the rest of them into bowls. So it's time to form the dough. I did brush off any excess flour that was on the bottom. So now we just want to go ahead and stretch this dough out. Now you want to keep the edge a bit thicker than in the middle, but you want to stretch it into a nice size. We're going to try and make it about this big. So just pick it up. You can almost form it like a pizza dough. Just let the weight of the dough stretch it out, give you a hand. Doesn't have to be perfect. I don't think I've ever had a Lángos that was perfectly round before in my life. Something like that. My oil is rocking around 150 to 160 degrees Celsius. Just going to drop the dough straight in, and we're going to fry it till it's nice and golden brown. When it's nice and golden brown like this, you want to go ahead, stick it in a tray with a rack so it stands up like this, so it drips off any excess oil. Then go ahead, fry the rest. As you can see, I've already done a couple. The first one I'm going to whip up is simple enough, a bit of garlic and butter. Now with this one, straight out of the oil, you want to put it down, get plenty of that garlic on there as well. And this one's done. Start off making the caramelized onions. Going to get a bit of oil in a pan, and then you want to get a bunch of thinly sliced onion in there. So why this looks like a lot of onions, it's because it is a lot of onions. But this will cook down quite a bit. So we're just going to keep it on this medium-high heat. We're going to give it a little sprinkle of salt, just to, get it going. But I'm not going to stir that in just now, because if I try to do that, it's going to fall out all over the place. So let this cook down just a little bit, and then we'll mix the salt through. When your onions are nice and caramelized like this, now I didn't film it, but I did come in every, I would say, 3-4 minutes, and just stir it up and scrape off any of the stuff that was sticking to the bottom. If you can't scrape it up, just add a little bit of water to the pan, and that'll help you deglaze to get this nice color. So, just before we take it off the stove, we're going to hit it with a bit of balsamic cream and just a touch more salt. All right, we'll give that a mix, and then we'll give it a taste and see if we need to add anything else. So for me, I'll just add a bit more salt. Now my onions are done, so we're just going to take them out of the pan and put them aside. We'll go down with a smear of our caramelized onions. Then we're going to dollop some goat cheese all over the place. All right, then we sprinkle over some roughly chopped walnuts. This is the one I'm most excited about. This is the caramelized onion version. So for the more traditional style topping on the Lángos is sour cream and grated cheese. So I thought I'd change this up as well. I'm going to add some lemon zest and maybe some juice. We've got to check the consistency to the sour cream. There's a bit of lemon zest in there. I'm adding the whole zest of this lemon to the sour cream. So I'll just bang it in. And then simple enough, you just mix it in. Once you get it all mixed in, give it a little taste. After we give it a taste, realize it needs a bit of the juice as well, so we'll cut a cheek off the lemon. Squeeze that in, add a bit of salt, and then we'll stir that in and give it a taste. See how that turns out. And for me, that's all it needed, was the juice and the salt. Now we'll cover this up, stick it in the fridge till we're ready to use it. You want to go down with a healthy smear of your sour cream. This is not a light dish. It's no time to skimp. And now some cheese. It never does explain what type of cheese, but I'm using a young Gouda. That's how you would normally get it. So for the smoked salmon, we want to fry some capers. So I've just got a jar of capers here that I drained off all the moisture. Now we're going to shake them out onto some paper towel, spread them out, and then you just want to put another piece of paper towel on top and dry them off as best you can. So I got some frying oil up to, well, let's check it. Should be around 140 degrees Celsius, which we're pretty much there. Another minute or two. Once your oil's up to temperature, you want to go ahead and drop all your capers in. Just give them a little stir around. These won't take long, so don't run away. Once you've got it nice and fried off like that, you just want to remove them to a paper towel lined plate. Okay, now we're going down with some smoked salmon and cream cheese. Also, no time to skimp. Healthy amount of cream cheese like the one before with the sour cream. Now we can put some little piles of smoked salmon on there. Now we're going with a nice sprinkle of our fried capers, maybe a few more. I love these little things. And finish it off with a little bit of fresh dill. That's one with smoked salmon. To start the Austrian flavoured ones, we want a drained can of scarlet runner beans, aka Kafferbohnen. I'm going to bung them in your blender, make sure you get them all out. And then you want to blitz these, but don't blitz them to a full puree. You want to still want a couple little chunkers left over. When I'm done, I'll show you what I mean. So as you can see, I've pureed it down. There's still some chunks in there, which is exactly what you're looking for. So we'll get that out and put it into a dish. Then we're going to smear on some of our bean puree, and we'll put a couple of slices of gherkin on there, followed by a healthy dosing of watercress, and we'll give it a sprinkle of salt, and we finish it off with a little drizzle of that pumpkin seed oil. This is my Austrian version. It's also vegan. Usually you eat them straight after they're fried, but because I had to take some photos and all this good jazz, I had to let them sit a little bit, but I'm pretty sure they're still going to be tasty. Sure ain't nothing wrong with a classic in my opinion. That is damn tasty. Just as a side note here, you would never cut this into little triangles. It's a street food. Usually you just get the whole thing and shove it in your face. I've never actually had this version before. I'm usually just a straight gullet kind of a person. But we'll see how this one goes. Now I'm pretty sure that it's not traditional, but the lemon in the sour cream, that is absolutely amazing on this one. I didn't actually think I was going to like that one that much, but that's going to be hard to beat. So another popular topping is also rocket salad on top, but I'm not a big fan of that. So I thought of this watercress instead. I wasn't totally convinced about this one, but this is absolutely outstanding. Also, if you've never had these scarlet runner beans before, definitely give them a try. This is damn tasty. The pumpkin seed oil on top, it probably also makes it. And on another note, you probably can't recreate this one without the pumpkin seed oil. Sorry. So, I've got very high hopes for this one. Let's see how it stacks up compared to the other toppings. This one needs a little something. A little hint of brightness. A little bit of lemon. Let's see how it goes now. I think this one would be really good with the sour cream with all that lemon in it and more dill on top. Still, it's damn tasty. Now it's time for the one that started it all. I think we have a winner here, folks. I thought about putting extra balsamic cream over the top, but I'm glad I didn't. Those onions made it sweet enough. Even though those onions provided a good sweetness, I think I need something even sweeter. It's time for dessert. Ice cream with some hazelnut sauce. This is so wrong and so right on so many levels, but damn is it tasty. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing recipes I come up with.